have a worldly presence. But they've taken a little bit of a break, a little bit of a breather. They've been gone for a little while. And my goodness, Smart, have they come back with a vengeance. A 3-0 on Chag to bring them to this point. It's going to be Peli Sonic versus Sisqui Dark Samus. Tell me, fella, where are the chips falling? Because we're getting into game one.
Here we go. This is the start winners finals. This is the most important set probably of the day for these two, and already getting off to a strong start here. Sisqui setting down those bombs, trying to interrupt Sonic. And the whole matchup is very much going to just be Sisqui keeping that distance, you know, setting up those traps, and then Sonic just trying to find a way in if he can.
And it's not easy. It is not easy at all. I made reference to this when I was talking about Sisqui versus that Australian Sephiroth, you know, Skis a little bit earlier. The issue here is that threat range, burst options, they are such an intrinsic part about playing this matchup that suddenly one wrong move means you are a pixel out of place, means that you can be engaged upon. That is what Sisqui has to play carefully, because he knows that Peli has all the time in the world to play with.
And that's exactly it, Noodles, because obviously Sisqui will be trying to set up these bombs, you know, and obviously keep his distance away. Does not want Sonic to get in. But as soon as Peli is able to, that spells disaster for Sisqui. And that's what we've already seen here. Every time Peli has been able to get in, he has landed those strong hits like that fist straight into Sisqui to take that first stock.
Fantastic stuff. An explosive opening from Peli. And tell me, Smar, if there is one character in the game who is famous, is iconic, it can be Sonic with a lead. Someone who can push it so far. Everyone and their mother knows about how strong this character is when you give them an inch. Well, tell me, Smart, Peli is looking for a mile.
Exactly that, and you're going to see Peli does not need to engage much anymore. He can obviously go in when he feels like it, when he's got an opportunity to do so, but otherwise he has this lead, and it is a strong one right now. He does not need to approach the Samus. He does not need to do anything risky whatsoever. Sisqui has to come to Sonic, and that is exactly what happens there with that 4 there to finally even up the stocks, but that's still triple digits on Sisqui right now. Peli sitting quite comfortably with that lead.
Yes, really fantastic work from Sisqui there to even it out, but alas, looks like Peli is trying to keep that lead afloat right now. An instant cancel on the up B does break Peli's ankles. The reversal is here. We've got to see if Sisqui can push it all the way. There's a little bit of rage on that Samus there. Smar. We're going to see if it's quite enough. A morph bomb just to mix up the landing a little bit, buy himself a little bit of time, but Peli's trying to find a little bit of space so that he can get a safe re-engagement.
Exactly that. You can see actually that Sisqui has not really been able to touch Peli in quite a while, actually. He's finally finding those hits now. But Peli is very much just playing his own game here. He's saying, okay, you know what? I keep my distance. I go to the platforms. I wait it out. I strike when I need to. And Sisqui definitely, you know, sort of struggling a little bit to find any probably meaningful hits against this Sonic right now.
Fantastic catch on the platform drop there. Sisqui slowing it down a little bit, knowing that he can fully charge these neutral Bs. Throwing out a couple of morph bombs just so he can kind of buy himself a bit of time. Force Peli to go up and over. But for now, frankly, Sisqui is suffering. Still, I've seen worse.
Yeah, Peli is just going to run away with the lead, but that gap is starting to close very, very gradually. This is definitely a slow-paced game, but Sisqui is definitely, you know, starting to make that comeback. He's definitely not letting, you know, the pressure of being down against the Sonic get to him. He's saying, okay, listen, I know this is a slow-paced game. I know down a little bit, but I can still wait this out. I've got time to play. I don't have to do anything risky myself.
Certainly is. And honestly, Peli has been throwing a couple of leads because, frankly, he's not respecting Sisqi's adaptation. That first stock where he got the roll read forward smash, fantastic. But if you've noticed, he's gone for that about 2 or 3 more times. And all 3 of those times, Sisqui has retaliated, Sisqui has known. And so Peli is just giving him a free angle back to stage, which against Sonic should not be something that is consistently happening. But 189 Smart, my goodness, he's living.
This Dark Samus refuses to go down, but finally Peli finds that hit to take the stock away. And now is pretty even Stevens here. 45% on Peli right now. That is not too high a number. Definitely something that Peli can make a comeback from. But he's got to find those hits. He's got to find a way in, because now Sisqui is the one with the lead. We're seeing a complete reversal of how this game started. And now Peli's got to be the one to go in. It's only 2 minutes 32 on that clock. That is not a lot of time.
Certainly is. And you know what? If Peli doesn't push his advantage, the clock is going to come back to bite him. Sisqui now happy to chill at the corner there. He's got a Morph Bombs to make an escape, to sort of snuff out the Sonic approaches, and now we're just firing. It's blue balls on both the side of the stage there, Smar. Which one will trump? Which one will come out on top as the grab comes through the up throw into the forward air?
Yeah, this gap is definitely starting to close between the two. The up B gonna catch out Peli though. Has a little bit more damage tacked on. Peli's trying to fire back here. Those are some strong hits. 6 into each other. Peli's going off stage. The forwarder doesn't connect though. And the downer simply sends Peli away to the left.
And thank goodness for Peli that wasn't a spike, but Sisqui is looking pretty comfortable. 1:45 on the clock. There's got to be a kill soon, but he's sent nice and high. To make his way back, a couple of bombs to cover the landing as well, but he's still in disadvantage. Finally, a misplaced bear is enough for the screw attack to make its way all the way up, but instead the reversal bear almost taking out Peli. It's one more hit to do it!
And that was so good from Sisqui. He knew that Peli's only way to really come back was to use that homing attack to get back. So he just sat there and said, okay, I know that stalls you a little bit. I could just fire away.
And it's really, really solid mentality from Sisqui there. You know, there is a lot of chat going on about now. A lot of top players really sharing this kind of mentality that Sonic, arguably top 1, right? And
yes.
It's a controversial opinion, it is, but a lot of highly regarded players believe it. And Sisqui, if you're going to sit there at the top, if you're going to duel with the best, you've got to know how to deal with it. And the key is patience, unfortunately.
That really is kind of just, that summarizes all of that game 1. Sisqui was definitely down at the start of that is no lie. But just, he still didn't let it get to him. He just said, okay, yeah, I can play patient too. Yes, I'm down a little bit, but I don't have to run in. I don't have to do anything that will harm me or anything like that. I can just play his own game. And now we'll see how that patience plays out in this game too. And already Sisqui off to a pretty strong start, getting that plasma shot on to Peli there. Not going to do it this year, but Peli finding a small little string there just to get something going there.
Yeah, genuinely, if there is one thing, sort of one marker I can put my foot down on from that first game, it has obviously got to be Sisqi's use of up B out of shield. He's realized that Peli gets so much out of floating in that range, out of drifting through him, crossing him up with all manner of different options. Suddenly, if he can interrupt it, it becomes so difficult for Peli to just haphazardly go for these engages. He has to slow down. And buddy, if Sonic's slowing down, you may have already lost.
That was so nice from Sisqui, and it's something he does so often across all of his sets. And we've seen it so many times today as well, where he just does that one little jab, retreats a little bit, and then he just fires away with something. He goes for a grab, goes for a forward air, but he punishes hard, and it catches people by surprise.
Very, very difficult for Peli right here. Sisqui so in control right now. Tries to get the turnaround, not quite enough. Didn't want to commit to the up B out shield that time, but he is forced nice and off, drifting himself with the morph bombs as Sonic forced to air dodge back to stage. Can we get a throw? Instead jumps over, but he is sent up into the air once again. Peli's engages, these haphazard attacks, they're just being taken and thrown back in his face there, Smart.
Absolutely. Sisqui just looks so comfortable right now, where he's got still that 3 stocks to his name. They're basically even in stock, but Peli is obviously down 1. And Sisqui is just saying, you know what? Yeah, I'm happy right now. I can just play calmly. I don't need to do anything. I can just wait for Peli to make a mistake, punish hard from there. And Peli is the one that's looking a little bit, you know, impel here, as he's just not really able to get anything meaningful on Sisqui. But you can see there's nut roast that Peli is also highlighting what we talked about with Sisqui and praising him for, where he's also still playing patient. He's down quite a bit here, but he's not letting go of his game plan.
Certainly is. We have seen a few mistakes from Peli, but will that falter him? Will that throw him off kilter as Peli does go for quite a Hail Mary up smash? Arguably, you want to go for it, but then again, you know the character, you know the DNA of Sonic. Do you want to push it? Do you want to risk it all for something that you are going to have to work twice as hard to achieve on the second stock, as 3 stocks for Sisqui sit perilous. A mountain for Peli to climb right now, Smart.
This is really a huge mountain to climb for Peli. They've got to put in so much work if they want to take this game, but Sisqui, he's just sitting so nicely. There is nothing he needs to do that is risky. He doesn't need to engage the Sonic, and Peli is now forced into a very uncomfortable situation. But finally, this is how comebacks start. Lands that back air, finally takes the stock away. Still quite a bit to climb, but this is where it begins.
Certainly is. An instant dash attack to catch him slipping from behind as he's just hanging out in the air. Peli cannot engage while he's in that state. It's just a bit too risky, and so he's free to throw out as many down Bs as he wants. 1-1-1 into 1-4-4 there, fella. As he is forced back up. A bomb to cover the recovery right now. Up air into up air, my fella. Let's see if he can make it back there, Smart, but it's not looking likely.
Yeah, Sisqui again is just keeping himself away, charging up that shot, and then it is the tether that is going to eliminate that hedgehog from this game, and Sisqui goes 2-0 up in this set. Peli looking a little bit, impelled in that game.
Yeah, no, a little bit flustered, and who could blame him? When things start slipping through your fingers as Sonic, someone with such a stoic game plan, oh boy, is it hard to bring it back, because frankly, Sonic is so good at what he does, but he is not a jack of all trades, okay? He is a master of a specific way of thinking. Yes, he can engage, he can brawl up close, that's okay, he can camp, but honestly, if he figures out your game plan, it is very difficult to adapt to make your way around it as we move on into Game 3.
Yeah, we are running it straight back to Pokemon Stadium 2 here. And hopefully this is the game that Peli needs to get himself back into this set. Does not want to let Sisqui move on 3-0, that is for sure. Peli has always been a grinder. He is always thinking about this game and putting so much time and effort into it. He wants that grind for so bad. But Sisqui right now, with the way he's playing, definitely not going to let it go easily.
Not going to let it go easily at all there, Smart, as it's a better opening than last game, but still, Sisqui in the lead, Sisqui with control. Still on the greens of PS2, as you do avoid the tilt right there, Peli. But alas, the fastball mixes up the timing of the homing as Peli once again looking for the re-engage.
Yeah, and this is exactly almost seeing the opposite. Again, this was the case in Game 2 as well. But in Game 1, we saw that Sisqui, I said about how Sisqui was setting up these traps, kind of putting down the bombs, which would interrupt things like the spin dash, obviously charging up the charge shot so he could just fire it away. So spin dash, obviously just a very sort of linear, grounded move. But, obviously Peli in Game 1 was getting around it. He was going between the platforms. But here, it's a little bit more scary as Sisqui can just use that game plan he had in mind from Game 1 and utilize it perfectly.
And Peli has been able to find so many kills in previous games from these offstage scenarios. But Sisqi's movement so good. Mixing up the timing of the landing, his airspeed with that morph ball. Fast falling and then making his way back to stage. B-reverses, my goodness, he's got such a treasure trove of ways of getting about the stage. Peli having his ankles broken. Yeah, in true Twickenham Stadium fashion, he's being sent for a hot dog there,
He is definitely trying to tackle this Samus, but Sisqui is just not letting it happen every time they go off stage. Peli is trying to read the recovery option, and Sisqui is just doing something different. And so Peli is just not able to find this stock. So once again, sends Sisqui off stage. Does find the hit he needs, though. Takes that stock away. And now this is an opportunity for takes the advantage as well. And that's a small little string, but it's a bit of damage.
Exactly. You will take all you can get. Nickels and dimes, pennies and pounds. Whatever currency you want to use there, fellas. As Sisqui sitting pretty on the very end of that stage. Peli trying to threaten an engage just to stop him from charging, but frankly, if he's not going to commit, it doesn't quite matter. Bit of a clash right there as the jab does not have the range to keep it moving, but every percentage counts there, Smart.
You can see here, this is exactly what we're talking about. Sisqui just on this right side of the stage here, just saying missile, 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 charge shot, bomb. Just does not need to do really anything else, and you could see that Peli was struggling to know what to do with it. He had to maneuver between the platforms, but that's an obvious way to get around it, and Sisqui can just return fire with something like a forwarder.
He certainly can. There is that F smash that worked the first game, but buddy, that was a long time ago. Not going to work anymore right now. Springboard bounces up, immediate screw attack to return.
Yeah, and that is such a good way to catch out Sonic as well, and of course it is a strong move in itself, so that is going to take away the stock. And Sisqui, one stock away from moving on to Grand Finals. Peli has got to dig deep here. He has got to find this stock, and he's got to get this game.
Let's see what he can do. You can see him going for a lot of those runoff aerials. A fantastic burst option for Peli in its own right. Sisqui just prepared for it. So many more falls flying out. So many bombs just messing up any semblance of an engage from Peli as he's forced down once again, but the fair is just a bit too weak. Forward tilt, however, packs a punch.
That one certainly does, kicking that Samus away. Now Peli finally brings Sisqui down to his last stock here. Not too much damage as well on Peli, but you definitely got to be careful here. You've got to get a bit more damage in because you cannot let Sisqui run away from this.
It is true. Sitting there once again, firing missiles. It can't hurt you there, fella. There's a fantastic string from Peli. Actually almost evens it out there. Very risky air dodge, but Peli's not willing to risk it in himself. Force that once again, cancelling the neutral B, but the forward air to force him out. And now Peli has to make it back to stage safely. This could be the end if he doesn't reach the ground. A very rare down air, though, will get him back safely.
Yeah, and that's such a good mix-up as well that Sisqui was not ready for. But 132 on Peli right now. He goes deep down, but he didn't have a jump. He didn't recover, and he wasn't able to make it. And that's such an unfortunate way to end because Peli was really starting to mount that comeback, but just one unfortunate situation off stage does seal it, and that means Sisqui will be moving on 3-0.
Certainly will. Unfortunate for our buddy Peli there, but Sisqui playing so well. Fantastic stuff. Peli, hey, if you are a grinder, if you are true to the mentality, you are already thinking, right, I am going to face him again. I am going to win. That is what I came here to do. And I got close. So I just need to keep working on that game plan. But alas, let's have a look who is stepping up to the plate just next.
All right, so I think, we are going to be handing it over to Galaxy in a moment to introduce our players. But you can see in all these replays, it was just looking so tough for Peli to find any meaningful way in, find those hits. And Sisqui each time was just setting up his game plan, just keeping his distance, throwing out every sort of bit of pressure at Peli. And it was just, at the end, too difficult for Peli to find his way in.
The up special, it's the up special out of Shield, man. It's such a ludicrous thorn in the side of what Sonic wants to achieve. Just a sort of flared missile to take out the airspace that Sonic wants to exist in.
Yeah, Peli. And that really does just seal it. And then, of course, at the end there as well, we can see Peli did actually go for the recovery in the end, but it just wasn't high enough to get him back to the stage. And unfortunately, did just plummet down, allowing Sisqui to move on. But we're going to hand over to Galaxy to introduce our next